10 Things You Didn't Know About the Movie Fargo. Released in 1996, Fargo is a crime comedy movie that has gained a cult following and critical acclaim over the years. The Coen Brothers, Joel and Ethan, wrote, directed and produced it. Fargo has won 2 Academy Awards and earned 7 nominations. The movie's success can be attributed to its unique storytelling style, memorable characters and authentic portrayal of the Midwest. In this video, we'll explore 10 fascinating things you probably didn't know about Fargo, from behind-the-scenes secrets to exciting facts about the characters and actors. Number 1. The true events claim is true. Fargo's plot centers around a desperate car salesman named Jerry Lundegaard who hires 2 criminals to kidnap his wife to collect a ransom from her wealthy father. Things quickly spiral out of control, leading to a violent and bloody climax. However, what many people don't know is that actual events inspired the story. The Coen Brothers have always been fascinated by true crime stories, and they drew inspiration from the case of Hella Crofts, a Danish flight attendant who was murdered by her husband in 1986. Her husband Richard Crofts tried to dispose of her body through a wood chipper. This incident became the basis for the iconic scene in Fargo where Steve Buscemi's character is put through a wood chipper. Number 2. The filming location was not actually Fargo. Despite its title, Fargo was not actually filmed in Fargo, North Dakota. Most of the movie was shot in and around Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota. The Coen Brothers chose Minnesota because it was where they grew up, and they wanted to capture the region's unique culture and dialect accurately. Number 3. The Minnesota Nice accent was created by dialect coach. One of the most memorable things about Fargo is the unique Minnesota Nice accent used by the characters. This accent is a mix of Canadian and Midwest accents. It was created by dialect coach Paula J. Kaplan. She worked with the actors to develop the accent, which added to the movie's authenticity. Kaplan based the accent on her experiences growing up in Minnesota and her research on the area's dialects. She also coached the actors on how to incorporate the accent into their performances, which helped to create the film's distinctive tone. Number 4. The Coen Brothers made cameos in the movie. The Coen Brothers often make cameos in their movies, and Fargo is no exception. Joel Coen played the uncredited role of the man in the bar who gives Marge Gunderson, played by Frances McDormand, information about the kidnappers, while Ethan Coen played the uncredited role of the man in the bathtub who is attacked by Steve Buscemi's character. Their cameos are brief but add to the overall quirkiness of the movie. Number 5. Frances McDormand's pregnancy was written into the script. Frances McDormand, who played the lead role of Marge Gunderson in Fargo, was pregnant during the movie's filming. The Coen Brothers incorporated her pregnancy into the script, adding a layer of realism to the character. Marge's pregnancy was never explicitly mentioned in the film, but it was subtly hinted at throughout, such as in the scene where she's eating with her husband and mentions that she's not feeling well. Number 6. The role of Carl Showalter was not originally written for Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi's character Carl Showalter is one of the most memorable in Fargo. However, the role was initially written for the actor John Polito. When Polito couldn't do the role, the Coen Brothers rewrote it for Buscemi, who had previously worked with them on the movie Miller's Crossing. Buscemi's portrayal of Carl Showalter is pitch perfect, and it's hard to imagine anyone else in the role. Number 7. The actors were given creative freedom. The Coen Brothers are known for being very hands-on in directing their movies. However, they gave their actors a lot of creative freedom regarding their performances in Fargo. According to Frances McDormand, the Coens allowed her to improvise some of her lines and actions, which helped her to bring Marge Gunderson to life more naturally and authentically. Similarly, Steve Buscemi was given much freedom to create his character. He came up with some ideas of Carl Showalter's funny-looking hat and his distinctive hairstyle. Buscemi's performance is one of the movie's highlights, and his quirky mannerisms and comedic timing helped to make Fargo the classic that it is today. Number 8. The soundtrack was composed by Carter Burwell. Carter Burwell has composed the music for many Coen Brothers movies, including Fargo. Burwell's score for Fargo combines atmospheric and quirky pieces that perfectly complements the film's tone. The movie's main theme, which featured a haunting melody played on a keyboard, is one of the most recognizable pieces of music in modern cinema. Burwell's music is an essential part of movie's overall atmosphere and helps to create the tense and suspenseful moments that make Fargo such a compelling film. Number 9. The movie was adapted into a TV series. In 2014, Fargo was adapted into a critically acclaimed TV series by FX. The show, which has run for 4 seasons so far, is an anthology series in the same universe as the movie but features different characters and storylines. The TV series has been praised for its strong writing, excellent performances, and faithful adaptations of the movie's tone and atmosphere. The show has been successful both critically and commercially, and it has helped to introduce a new generation of viewers to the world of Fargo. It's also interesting to note that the TV series has been more successful than many other film to TV adaptations, which often struggle to capture the essence of the original movie. Number 10. The movie has inspired countless parodies and homages. Fargo has become a pop culture phenomenon in the years since its release, and it has inspired countless parodies and homages in various forms of media. From TV shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy to movies like The Big Lebowski and Burn After Reading, Fargo's influence can be seen in many different works of art. One of the most famous parodies of Fargo is the episode of The Simpsons titled Marge vs. the Monorail. In this episode, Homer becomes the conductor of a monorail that is built in Springfield, and the episode parodies many of the themes and motifs of Fargo. Similarly, the movie Burn After Reading, directed by the Coen Brothers, features many of the same actors as Fargo and has a similar tone and atmosphere. In conclusion, Fargo is a movie that has captured the hearts of millions of fans worldwide since its release in 1996. The Coen Brothers' classic crime comedy movie won 2 Academy Awards and has earned a reputation as a cult classic. But there are many things about the movie that even its biggest fans may not know. From the true crime inspiration behind the story to the unique Minnesota nice accent and the memorable characters, Fargo has cemented its place in cinema history. It's a movie that has stood the test of time and remains as fresh and entertaining today as it did 2 decades ago. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of Fargo.